shot by Buddha. Facebook gaming in the building.
Into the end zone. Five Nations, stand up.
Pastor Buddha in the congregation. So y'all ain't from the down south. What a pastor say after every time he say something. Hope everybody doing good today. Before we even get into Tennessee Titans, Pittsburgh Steelers, who has a great offseason, Jamel Dean, Rico Dowdle, Michael Pittman Jr., a really good draft. I like the players they drafted. They took my advice and drafted a quarterback, even though I drafted a quarterback last year. But let's read this. The Steelers placed a rare right of refusal tender on Aaron Rodgers, meaning he can accept a 10% raise off of last year's salary, which would pay him about $15 million this season. And as another condition of the tender, Rodgers will only be able to sign with the Steelers once training camp begins. So before we even get into Tennessee Titans, trouble in Big Dallas with George Pickens not wanting to accept his $27 million, wanting a long-term deal, not wanting to play on the option like Micah Parsons. And here's Aaron Rodgers being forced and hit with that paperwork to say, hey, Gucci Mane, we're going to need you to make a statement. They told Aaron Rodgers, we're going to need you to make a statement. Because the Pittsburgh Steelers have made their statement. They drafted a quarterback last year, and they drafted a quarterback this year. And basically said, listen, this is how much we got for you. And if you don't show up, you can't go nowhere else. They really put that paperwork on Aaron Rodgers. But I'm glad the Pittsburgh Steelers stood up for themselves and didn't allow him, like so many older quarterbacks do, which is like hold franchises hostage by not allowing them to move forward and grow, and not just coming right out and saying it, being a diva, which he's earned the right. He's a Hall of Fame player to do whatever he wants to do, but at some point the team's got to force their hands. And when people question the Rams taking Ty Simpson in the first round this year, even though they had 2 firsts, and that was actually the Atlanta Falcons first round pick that they used, it's just to say that that's why that team did that. And that's why the Green Bay Packers drafted Jordan Love when they did. Is to put the quarterback on the clock. You're gonna make a decision. You're not gonna hold us hostage and impede the process of a rebuilding franchise. KT2 the GOAT, what up? Tyler Sage, what up? Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. Man, did some yard work yesterday, so your boy definitely sound real Gucci Mane today. All right, so y'all know why we here, shop. We here to talk Tennessee Titans and everything else, NFL and world news. But I got a question for y'all. Ever since I dropped that little post yesterday showing the history of the last 5 Ohio State wide receivers taken, Tennessee Titan effect, the one we get, even though nobody questions his talent, nobody questions whether he was wide receiver 1 in his class. People try to downplay one Carnell Tate. And I asked the question to the fan base. I know this may come as a shock and a surprise. Carnell Tate is the best wide receiver that we ever drafted in the Titans era. 6'3", 58 targets, no drop, best route runner and best hands in the draft. Instantly, people start comparing him to Corey Davis, and I had to immediately stop them. Corey Davis came from a small school, and you question whether he had played up to the competition level of the other receivers that came out in the draft. But let's look at Corey Davis. Corey Davis rookie year, 2017, 11 games played, 34 catches, 375 yards, no touchdowns. His next year, he played the whole season, 65 catches, 891 yards, 4 touchdowns. The next year, year 3, 43 catches, 600 yards, 2 touchdowns. And his last year, the year we went to the AFC title game, played 14 games, 65 catches, 984 yards, playing next to A.J. Brown. 15.1. He had career numbers, 5 touchdowns, and then we sent him to the Jets, and he fell off the rest of the cliff. That's when you can say a wide receiver was overdrafted and reached for, and never had a 1,000-yard season, never had more than a handful of touchdowns. Only when he was playing with A.J. Brown on a 2,000-yard Derrick Henry season did he average the most in his career yards per attempt. Only one season he played every game, and he got ample targets every year. So, are we saying that Carnell Tate is not way better than Corey Davis? That maybe by industry standards, Corey Davis was a bust? At best, a wide receiver too that was physical in the red zone and a good blocker? So let's move on to the second one. A.J. Brown, who by all standards and all accounts, I think we all come to the consensus, in the Titans era, A.J. Brown is the best receiver the Titans drafted. Let's look at A.J. Brown's rookie year. Played all 16 games, went to the AFC title games, 52 catches, 1,051 yards, averaged 20.2 per catch, 8 touchdowns. The next year, 70 catches, 1,075 yards. Average catch, 15.4, 11 touchdowns. His last year in Nashville, 63 catches, 869 yards, 13.8, 5 touchdowns. So then he went crazy on the Eagles. But he had the same number of targets in 20 as in 21. But there's a big difference between the yards and only one difference in the games played. So if Carnell Tate has 1,052 yards, he will have more receiving yards than any rookie in Titans history. If he has 53 catches, he'll have the most. Now, A.J. Brown had 8 touchdowns. I don't know if Carnell Tate catches 9 touchdowns in his rookie season. But if Carnell Tate does these numbers, we could legitimately say Carnell Tate is the best rookie we ever drafted at wide receiver. Those are not crazy numbers for him to surpass in his rookie season with Dabo, Wandale, Ridley, TP, Nick Singleton, 2 good tight ends. You know, if Cam Ward makes a Caleb Williams or Drake May type step year 2, he should get that on autopilot, and we play 17 games, not 16. Big difference between Ohio State and Western Michigan. And see, even if we wanted to go Derrick Mason, who is who I was going to talk about next, but in his career, Derrick Mason has the franchise record for most receiving yards in a single season, which is 1,303. I believe, and I'm going to go on record saying, Carnell Tate will be the best receiver that we ever drafted. He'll break Derrick Mason's record at some point if he stays healthy. I think he'll break AJ Brown's rookie records. I don't know about the touchdowns. 8 is a lot. Because when we go back and look at Derrick Mason in 97, 16 games played, 14 catches for 186, no touchdowns, 25 catches for 333, 3 touchdowns. It was a different era. 8 catches for 89 yards, no touchdowns. And then a breakout year, 2000, 63 catches, 895, 5 touchdowns, 01, 73, 11, 9 touchdowns. If we want to go all time, talent-wise, AJ, but Derrick Mason had a great career. 12,000 yards receiving, 66 touchdowns. So if we just being fair in the Titans era, it's Derrick Mason and AJ Brown. If we being fair. Nate Washington had a great run. One of the greatest free agent acquisitions in franchise history. Nate Washington played his whole piece out, only 1,000 yard season. So when we saying the Titans took a receiver at 4, we took the best receiver talent-wise we've ever drafted. Talk to him, Tone. She said the only person he got to outdo is AJ. How many targets do you expect Tate to have on his rookie year? 100 minimum? Nah, I don't think 100. Let's look. Corey Davis rookie year has 65 targets. Derrick Mason rookie year, they didn't have that statistic then, but AJ Brown's rookie year, he had 84 targets. And then he started averaging 100 targets a year after that. So I say between 80 and 100 targets. All right, let's look at his counterparts. Garrett Wilson had 147. Olave had 119. JSN had 93 his rookie year. See, people try to make it like JSN wasn't a starter. He had 93 targets. He had almost 100 targets. So we can't say his rookie year was because he wasn't targeted, because he was targeted 93 times. Marvin Harrison, 116, and Emeka Egbuka, 127. By looking at this group, let's go on the low end and say with Wandale, with Ridley, with DK, with AO, with Bellinger, Gunnar Helm, and the running backs. Let's say 110. Let's say 110 should be fair. 110 targets should be fair. 110 targets should be fair, because that's on the low end of all of his counterparts. That's less than Olave. That's less than Egbuka, who had Mike Evans and Godwin and Johnson. Marvin Harrison was the focal point outside of McBride, but 116. Garrett Wilson had 147. That's a heavy volume of targets. I think that's way too many for a rookie, but it's the Jets. And then JSN was the third option, and he got 93. Carnell Tate is going to be a day one starter on the outside. So let's say 110 is a solid number of targets that he should get. And I think if you look at Egbuka with 938, Marvin Harrison with Ed 85, JSN with 628, Olave with 1,042, and Garrett Wilson with 1,103. I targeted to say with the offense and him growing in it, I targeted to say, like, let's be fair and say Carnell Tate has like between 800 and 1,000 on a low end. On a low end, he would have between 800 and 1,000. Because we've yet to see what this offense with Daboll looks like. But if we're going to be fair with Daboll, if Daboll took a wide receiver, it would be who? Let's compare to Malik Neighbors' rookie season, because that's what you would expect, right? That was Daboll's offense. Rookie year for Malik Neighbors, 170 targets. Malik Neighbors, what in the hell are you talking about that this guy can't be wide receiver one? You had 50 more targets than all the other Ohio State guys, and you an LSU boy. You have 50 more targets than all of them to have those yards. That's crazy. Hendricks, what up? 170 targets is wild. So, just to say that I think it's fair to put Carnell Tate at like 110 targets and to say he have like 75 receptions. I think Carnell Tate get close to 1,000 his rookie season with the Titans. Now, you with me. I think Drake May had an almost MVP season with 4,300 yards. I'm not saying that many. I'm saying Cam Ward could hit 4,000 yards this season. I'm saying I think he can. And he'll be the first in the Titans era, because the only other person in franchise history to have a 4,000 yard season is Warren Moon, class of 78. Now, when we look at Cam Ward last year, and we're going to be critical of Cam, 3,169 yards, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. That is not good. Even under the Callahan, good God, Brian, I expect Cam Ward to go up between 65 to 70% completions. I expect the attempts to go up with the completions. And I think the yards will go up naturally because he'll have better talent around him. I expect Cam Ward to have around 30 touchdowns and 10 or less interceptions. I expect him to cut that sack number and overall improvement in his game. But I do think Cam Ward could have a 4,000 yard season. I think he'll be the first Titan quarterback in franchise history, Titans franchise, to have 4,000. I think Carnell Tate will surpass Derek Mason and AJ Brown's records. All right, now Mel Kiper. I watched him and Phil Yates give the Titans a C grade on the draft, even though they think that Carnell Tate and Anthony Hill Jr. could push for offensive and defensive rookie of the year. How that works, and you got Keldrick Falk in between that, and we have a C grade, I have no clue. But let's look at Carson Swesinger, who you would compare Anthony Hill Jr. to, around the same size, picked in the second round, going to a team where he's going to be in the middle of the defense. He had 67 solo tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 2 picks. I think Anthony Hill Jr. could, if what I expect to happen is for him to push Cody Barton out of the way and be him and Cedric Gray, I think he could outdo these numbers. I think he's a better pass rusher, and I think he'll be up into the 80-90 range on tackles. And he's a good coverage linebacker. If Cody Barton had 2, I expect Anthony Hill Jr. to have 2. Now, we're going to rave about Carson Swesinger. We're going to rave about Anthony Hill Jr. If he puts up better numbers. Brandon, they definitely It definitely is the Titan effect. Yeah, Sheed, if you looked at my post, it was confirmed 8 drops in the Denver game to start off a rookie quarterback's career. Yeah, Joe Blacko. I think if he gets 110 targets, 1,000 yards should be there. Because he'll have more than 10 yards per catch. Give him some time to think and look at the tape. I'm starting to see how he chose dribbling and like the pick. I feel like you could have got him later, but if that's their guy, take their guy. I think he's just like Jawan Jennings. Couch GM. But it's like that. You know, it's like you got to give yourself time to think outside the moment. Because fans have a board of what we like. And then you have scouts and you have the coaches and GM who know what they want in their system. Just because a player might be a better player might not be a better player in said scheme. Like people wonder why we jumped up to get Keldrick Falk. Well, we thought Keldrick Falk would be gone in the middle of the first round. He might not fit in certain people's scheme. But why did you take Arvell Reese? I don't think Arvell Reese would have fit in our system. People didn't like that Femi was going to have to develop. It would be the same for Arvell Reese. So then when you seen that Anthony Hill Jr. was that guy and they came up and got him, it let you know that if Arvell Reese wouldn't have panned out at edge and he would have been a better off-ball backer, what do you do with Arvell Reese, Anthony Hill Jr., and Cedric Gray? It's just way too much of the same. So it's like, it makes sense of guys getting people that fit what they want to do. They didn't think we'd take Carnell Tate because they never seen Dabo with a big receiver. Maybe all along Dabo wanted a big receiver on the outside. And did we get him? Yes. Anthony Hill has more sacks than any person that was taken before him. Exactly. Because he has a good he's to me, Anthony Hill rushing the passer is better than Sonny Skiles and along the same lines of Arvell Reese. But I think Anthony Hill Jr. is a better stand-up backer than Arvell Reese could ever be. Now, with Sonny Styles' athleticism, I can't say that Anthony Hill Jr. will be more athletic and a better prospect at inside backer than Sonny Styles, but he'll be a better physical presence because he's naturally built for the position. And Sonny Styles is somebody who is a safety converted to linebacker. And that's the thing, Joe Blacko, is when you got Wandale and you got Ridley and you got DK and Aomana, you need that big outside guy that can go up and get it and can run routes and get open. And when you compare Carnell Tate, you think Cooper Kupp, you think Devontae Adams, you think T. Higgins, you think of guys that can get open and catch the ball in a one-on-one setting. Those are the type of receivers you compare him to the George Pickens. Those guys that's going to get up vertical, get open, and catch the ball. So when I take a step back and look, that we got Nick Singleton, I don't feel bad about Jeremiah Love at all. Because if we take Jeremiah Love, then the question becomes, do you go edge or wide receiver at 35? If you push wide receiver off, there was a chance that, yeah, we might get edge and linebacker and then just completely miss out on wide receiver. Like how we missed on defensive back, being able to get one in this draft, even though we got a couple of good prospects for undrafted. It would be the same way with receiver. Maybe we weren't able to get any receivers in this draft, and everybody would be saying, well, we got Jeremiah Love, Tony Pollard, and Tajay Spears, but we didn't address the wide receiver role. I think the Titans have so many holes that everything can't be addressed. But if it is a thing that we're going to take long shots on, if it's safety and cornerback, I'm fine with that. Considering how much money and time they spent into the secondary in the offseason. Yeah, I agree. And then that's another thing that you got to put into point with the Jeremiah Smiths and the Carnell Tates and some of these guys that play on some of these teams that are really good. How many games do you need Carnell Tate catching a bunch of passes in the second half of if you're Ohio State? So let's look at that. How many games are over at halftime? Can we find last year's Ohio State? All right, let's look at last year. Let's look at 2025. All right. Oh my God, bro. All right, what is going on? All right, there we go. All right. Texas, Carnell Tate is a high receiver. Grambling, Ohio, Washington, Minnesota, Illinois, Wisconsin, Penn State, Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, Michigan. Every single game is a blowout. Can we find a game within 10 points? And the only game you can put within 10 points is the Indiana game. This is the only game. Jeremiah had 8 for 144. Carnell had 4 for 45. He had more than Surratt. Where was Cooper at that game? Did Cooper play that game? Hendricks said, in Texas, don't do us like that. How did I do, y'all? Pause. First game of the season, Texas. That was it. Two catches for 49 yards and a touchdown, long of 40. Only 13 receptions for Ohio State. They wasn't even really passing. I more feel like Carnell Tate is more underused than he didn't produce. Would y'all not agree? Would y'all not agree he's just more underused than didn't do nothing? Oh, he was Cooper was hurt. Okay. Because I'm looking, I'm like, where the hell is Cooper at? But let's look at Jeremiah statistics and targets. Do they show Jeremiah Smith's targets? ESPN, you ain't giving me nothing. Let me see if I click on them, will it give it to me?
It's a competitive team.
I don't know. All right, let's see. Yeah, they don't show targets, they just show receptions. $87, 1243, 14.3, 12 touchdowns. All right, let's see. Oh, it's because they got Titan statistics on him. Okay. He had more average yards per catch. Only 3 less touchdowns. on 36 less catches. So I'm going to assume that if Jeremiah Smith had 87 catches, he had Carnell Tate only had 58 targets. Double the targets and let's see what happens. You feel me? Like double the targets and let's see what happens. But I know one thing. When you look at the Tennessee Titans, oh buddy. Let's look at Tennessee Titans receivers. Leading catcher was Chig. A.L. Monner, DK, Helm, Van Jefferson. Look at Tyler Lockett down here. 7 catches for 70 yards. Boy, you ain't finna tell me that Carnell Tate ain't finna be at the top of this eating with Ridley and Wandale. Exactly, Joe Blacko. Because if you big and can run routes and you got hands, you got speed. Only thing that can stop Carnell Tate from succeeding in Nashville is the Titans. I don't think it'll be Carnell Tate. If he doesn't succeed, it will be because of the Titans, not Carnell Tate. And when you look at Cody Barton, who I think Anthony Hill Jr. going to take his job, 37 solo tackles, 81 total, 1 sack, 4 tackles for loss, 11 passes, defense, 3 picks. Now, Cody Barton did lead the Titans in interceptions last season. And he did have a defensive touchdown. But if you're telling me that Anthony Hill Jr. has 81 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, multiple sacks, and 3 interceptions, he's going to be defensive rookie of the year. Unless it's one of these edge rushers has double-digit sacks is the only way. And it looks sexier. Right. It'll be that Daboll didn't find a way to get Ridley, Wandale, and Carnell the ball, along with Chim DK. Tony Pollard and Nick Singleton with Tajay. Let's look at the Giants and see how the distribution worked last year. Let's see how the distribution for the Giants worked. This should tell us a little bit. Seemed like the carries were split up. Almost 200 for Tyrone Tracy. Over 100 for Singletary. Over 100 for Scatterbo. A lot of quarterback runs, which I hope he don't do a lot of that with Cam. Wandale had 140 targets. With no neighbors. I think Brian Daboll does a good job of spreading the ball out. I feel like Hill can rush on third down or play coverage. Exactly. Like a person that was going to be good at it that couldn't stay healthy was Chance. Chance was good. He could rush the passer and do it all. Chance Campbell could just not stay on the field. Chance Campbell was one of the more talented linebackers that we drafted in the late rounds. He just could not stay on the field. I think if you remember that one preseason game, Chance Campbell had like 2 or 3 sacks. Man, it's storming pretty bad. But we still here. So this is going to be interesting to see just how this plays out. But I'm making my bold predictions. Cam Ward goes for 4K. Carnell Tate, it hovers around 1,000. I think Dabo is going to have some fun with this offense. Maybe could we see a Titan team that has a good defense that can get off the field on third down and an offense that can move the ball and score points? Bro, that storm just went crazy. All right. What questions y'all got next? Because that was the spiel I definitely need to get through, was to go over the history of the Titans wide receivers at their peaks. And it's another guy we're forgetting that was a top pick. Kendall Wright. 64 catches on 104 targets for 626 yards. See, that's what they trying to make it seem like Carnell Tate is going to be that. Carnell Tate is not going to get 104 targets and have 600 yards. Year 2, Kendall Wright had 94 catches, 140 targets, 1,079, 2 touchdowns. But Kendall Wright never was a wide receiver 1 or 2 in my mind. Yeah, I think they'll have more turnovers. I think they'll get after the quarterback. I think they'll be way better against the run. And can that turn in with Bones Fossil flipping the field and Cam actually having people around him that can put the ball in the basket? That's why I think that this is going. And like I told y'all, people was like, oh, they need stuff for Cam. Yes, but the whole 53 got to get better. And when you look at the 53, defense has talent. Offense has talent. The coaching is better. Now can they put it all together on Sundays? Efficient day one. Because if y'all remember, DK broke the record, but DK wasn't even really getting the ball until about game 6 or 7. Until Tyler Lockett walked off, DK wasn't even. They was throwing the ball to Aomana more than DK. Can you imagine DK and Aomana's numbers if they would have been giving him the ball all year instead of trying to give Van Jefferson and Tyler Lockett the ball? Well, let's look at the real early Joe Blacko. Let me do it this way so y'all can see better. But I'll take myself off the screen. But I think I think Pat Coogan wins this job. Who knows if they re-sign Zietler, but Jackson, Slater, and Carmona here. Crenshaw, Dixon here. They got Austin Deculus as the swing tackle. I agree with you, Joe Blacko. We need to start looking, soon as college football season start, who's the best left tackle that's coming out next year? Well, the first round left tackles. That's who the Titans, because you don't get good tackles in free agency. Skoronski gets extended. Dan Moore will have 2 years left after this year. I think that's going to be our line. Moore, Skoronski, Coogan, Slater, and JC. I think Carmona has time to get right. If they don't bring back Zietler, this is Crenshaw, Dixon. You got Sloatman. You got a very capable backup with Volson and Dellinger fighting. But maybe, just maybe, who knows how this rotation works out. I think this will be Jaren Kanak right here. I think the fights that we got to watch is Granson and DMR. It'll be between Granson and DMR because I think Kanak gets that last spot because of his special teams. With the running backs, it'll be interesting to watch the running back room. It'll be interesting to see does Tyron Montgomery fill that 6 wide receiver spot, or is it Bryce Oliver, KJ Osborne? I couldn't see them getting rid of Aomana or DK falling down. I think those are the battles that I want to see. Can Tyron Montgomery push for wide receiver 6? Can Jaren Kanak push Kylan Granson or DMR out of the way? How does Crenshaw Dixon develop? On defense, that safety that we got in undrafted free agent from USC, if we're going to watch some of his tape in a minute. When I cut the shop talk, we're going to go to Kick and Twitch and watch some tape. But that safety from USC, I think can push for one of these back tier safety spots. And then it'll be interesting. What do you do with James Williams? Do they move Cody Barton if Anthony Hill takes this spot, or do you keep Cody Barton as a good veteran presence? When it comes to locker room guys, I like Cody Barton in that aspect though. I think Tony Adams is Salah's guy. So if Kevin Winston drops in the box, I think Tony Adams will be the guy that steps back. But they need a little bit more depth at safety and a little bit more depth at corner. I think the kid from Houston could push Micah Robinson for that special teams cornerback role. Josh Williams, Cordell Flott, Marcus Harris, Alontae Taylor. See, those are the only spots in the draft I feel like I wish we had extra picks for, to take a shot at a safety or a corner. But, you know, I like the size and speed and makeup of the guys that we brought in and undrafted. The kid from USC who's a ball hawk type safety, a coverage type of safety, and then the corner that we got from Houston. I think he could push for this last cornerback role because Michael Robinson is a good special teamer. So like what these guys got to know is if you Jaren Kanak, if you the safety in the corner, the undrafted, they should be on special teams. Along with Jaren Kanak, some of these guys should be special team superstars. Shot by Buddha FB. So I'm interested to see some of these competitions. Sloatman and Coogan, do they bring back Zietler, Jackson Slater, and Carmona? Dellinger fighting it out right here. Who will wind up being the best wing tackle? Last year was Oliudo. This year, will it be Crenshaw, Dixon, or Deculus? Can Kanak push out one of these tight ends? I want to see the running back room fight, and I want to see this last wide receiver fight. Tyron Montgomery, KJ Osborne, Bryce Oliver, Xavier Restrepo. That's what we need. Competition. The guys I named are very, very capable players. Guys that are capable of playing on Sunday if you need them. Not just special teams, but playing, period. We should have people fighting it out at cornerback 6 and 7, not at 3 and 4 and 2 and 3. And I think we need a little bit more depth at safety. And other than that, Titans, I think I have around $45 million in cap space. At least 40. I think they should be able to go out and get even more free agents if they so choose to. All right, y'all. That's 45 minutes in the shop. Like I said, I will cut the stream. I will restart. We will be on Kick and Twitch, and we're going to watch some tape on some of these undrafted free agents. God first in the chat. Give me about 2 minutes for the reset, and we'll be back. Hit that subscribe, like, comment, share. Tap into the daily uploads at 7 a.m. Central Standard Time. If you missed the live streams, You got picture in picture. And if I don't get to any questions during the live streams of the pods, drop them in the comments. I'll make it part of the weekly mailbag. You following on the blue, smash those reactions. I know you're an OG. Hit that like, comment, share, tap into the daily content that is the shop. If you're new to the shop, you definitely should be tapped in on the green. No ads, up to 50 emotes free for just being a follower. You do not have to be a supporter to unlock. Picture in picture, late night streams. Follow us on Kick. We also live on Twitch. Look out for the drops, as well as if you have Amazon Prime, it's free $99 to sub to the channel once a month. Don't let Jeff Bezos stick that money back in his pocket.